Okay. So, hi guys, I'm Scarlett. I am a recreational therapy major at Clemson University. I'm part of the Paralympic soccer program. I'm their social media coordinator. And then I also have with me Tim.
Hi y'all. So I'm Tim. I came into Clemson expecting to be mostly involved with this program, but just since the inception of it, it's completely changed my view of that and adaptive sports in general. So yeah, I came in as a former collegiate athlete at Oglethorpe University, and I had a traumatic brain injury. Long story short, it messed up my entire career. So I was just blessed to be able to find this opportunity with Clemson and in it grow the sport I love with people with not so much able body. So it it's definitely been an experience and I'm just excited to learn from you all.
Love that. Love that. Thanks, Tim.
Oh, and sorry, I am a master's of business administration student on top of the CI class to get this thing rolling.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Um,
Sounds
would
good.
you would you like us to introduce ourselves?
Yes, so sorry. Yes, if y'all could just introduce yourselves.
Okay. John, I'm gonna go real quick.
Yeah.
Hi,
Okay.
my name is Katie, and I am the coach of Ohio Blind Soccer. We have been doing this, our own team for about, wow,
Almost 3 years now.
yeah, I was gonna say 3 years since 2018. And we're just loving the sport and super excited to tell you more about blind soccer.
I'll go next. My name is John. I joined the team in 2019. Actually, a U.S. Association of Blind Athletes program came to Columbus, and one of it, I got an email from them saying that they were going to have a soccer camp. So that's how I started coming down to Columbus. I actually live up in Cleveland, so I try to participate as much as I can. Just having fun.
I guess that leaves me, right?
Yep.
Hi, my name's Noah. I have been involved with blind soccer since Katie kicked it off in 2018. The blind soccer camp was great in 2019 because it did introduce people like John to the sport. And we're always happy whenever he can get down here because, boy, that guy has some fight in him. So always enjoy it when he can come down and play.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, we kind of just want to know, learn more about you guys and your program. So, kind of, Katie, what made you want to start this program in the first place?
Yeah. So, probably I think it was in 2018 or maybe in 2017 was a camp in Maryland, and it was a blind soccer camp, and actually international coaches came down to teach coaches or athletes about blind soccer within the US. And I got a little taste of that through the United States Sports Association here, Blind Sports Association. And then from there, kind of rolled with it and made it happen in Columbus. So it's been really exciting. And my passion is for working with individuals with visual impairments and then also having the sport I love, soccer. Just it connected perfectly. And now we're working on trying to do a national team, and there's going to be some camps coming up throughout the United States Blind Sports Association. And we're super excited to bring hopefully blind soccer to the Paralympics in 2028. So
That'd be great.
That would be huge.
I know, I'm very
Well,
excited.
I also have a question. It's more so pertaining to the finding of players. So I heard John, I believe he said he had to travel a little bit and he attended a camp that initially got him involved. So what is the story of most of the players on the team as far as coming into contact and then being called into camp or practice or however the system operates?
John, do you want to tell them about your experience of that camp?
Yeah, sure. So one of the things so I played soccer all the way into high school, and before I started losing my vision. So I started into the Association of Blind Athletes to it, basically because of they had a Fitbit challenge. Like they gave out Fitbits, and I can't remember what it's the actual name of it, but essentially everybody gets Fitbit, and then we all kind of track our steps together. And so that kind of got me in to that that program, and then they started sending me information. So I had not heard about the any other event other than the one in Columbus, to be honest, of what the as far as it goes with soccer. But one of the things that allowed it to be bigger is that it was paired with goalball, and so it had a regional draw. It seemed, and so that there was more athletes that were then exposed to blind soccer, like myself. I had never really played goalball. It's not my sport, but but there was a lot more people playing that day because of the fact that goalball was the day before in the camp, the sports weekend. And I think that kind of made it a lot more fun when I came down, and then coming down for practices and stuff, and then come and seeing people come in and out. But yeah, I think that because it was paired with goalball, it was more I guess got more notice.
Yeah, I love that, John. And it was the national. It was the Fitbit challenge, but it was
Yes, that's it.
through Anthem and the United States Association of Blind Athletes, which is what the camp was as well that I previously attended, and what is actually going to be the governing body of hopefully blind soccer here in the U.S.
Awesome. John, can I also ask you a follow-up on that, please?
Sure.
Okay, so now as far as the team in general, how far do most players travel, or is it pretty usually located in Ohio, or how is the program spread out?
I'd have to defer to Katie. I know for me, I'm about 2.5 hours at most away. So I come down, and then sometimes I'm able to come down and go right back, but other times I come down for the weekend, and kind of mess around down in Columbus,
How often do you
I made a commitment of once a month, but COVID totally blew that out of the water. I was really trying, like, it's in 2019, it was in May when I first came down that camp, and then so I was down in once in June, once in July, once in August, I think all the way to December, and I might have missed the month of December that year, and then January and February, and then everything just stopped. I think I came down in July and October last year after January and February. So it's just been a lot more difficult to come to practices. And then I only was able to get with the team so far this year in February at a sports weekend.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. So how many players do y'all have that regularly meet?
Noah, do you want to hit on that?
Absolutely. Yeah. So we have probably a handful, 3 to 4 or 6, depending on the practice. I would say I probably come the most. I have the luxury of living right next to Katie. So she is very good about providing transportation, not just for me, but for others on our team as well, because being in blindness, being blind, that's a very challenging aspect of our disability, is not being able to just hop in a car and drive somewhere. So that really helps. But I would say there are a handful that show up. There's Ted, who's not on our call, Trent, who's not on our call. I believe Ted was working today. But those, I would say those three plus John, when he can get down here, are probably our most consistent members. We also, when we can get him not to be working, Dan, he lives right around here too. And he has a lot of fight in him too. He's hard on himself because he's used to more hands-related sports like goalball. So getting him to use the feet is a little bit of a challenge. But we're always happy to get the more people out, the merrier, for sure. So I think as the spring goes on here, and we're opening up practices, hopefully more and more people will come.
Awesome. I mean,
So,
that sounds great, and especially whenever it's kind of like in business terms, because I'm a business dude, so it's the easiest market, but it's also hard because there's not a dense population of that target market. So, I mean, getting players is definitely something that I was kind of, looking for a little bit of guidance on how y'all found success versus just posting on social media, maybe other steps to bring people in.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'd be glad to speak on that too, because like, even if you have people who are aware of it, like, honestly, for me, like John said, he played soccer up till high school. So did I, actually. And then my sight got worse. I played goalball along with this other gentleman who's not on our call. He was kind of involved with blind soccer at the beginning, but like he stepped away, really. But I played goalball with him. His name is Jim. He and Katie went to this camp together in 2018. And over the summer, he's like, dude, you got to try this soccer thing. It's great. And for some reason, I was not here for it at the beginning. But like, I guess the point of what I'm trying to say is in order to get players involved, Katie hosted this blind sports day event. It wasn't quite as full blown as the camp that John attended. That was an overnight thing where we had people from all like flying in from various other states. But like there are a fair number of people who attended that blind sports day event. And that's where I first got exposed to it. And so like, I guess not marketing it as like, oh, this is a regular soccer practice, but like, oh, this is like a demonstration of something new to get involved in. That might be a way to get more people out. But it's a constant struggle. Like Katie and I talk about it all the time when we have a chance. Because let's be honest, it is a struggle getting new people in.
Right.
So yeah, I was going to say there's a few things to hit on here. Like one, individuals who are blind and low vision, it is hard to find because it's a low incidence disability, right? So it's very low incidence. Two, we have a wide variety of ages, so which is exciting. We have a school for the blind here, actually in Ohio, but that is, if you are going to be doing a sport, you're doing it through the school. So to get people to come outside of that is a little bit more difficult. And then we have the older generation who want to be more lifelong wellness and active in that regard. So they're looking for different activities they can do just to keep up some physical activity. And then we have this break of these individuals who are blind and low vision, who are working or going into college or finish college in their teens to 30s, that are hard to find is the difficulty. So from support groups, we've reached out to support groups, to other organizations like the Federation of the Blind, National Federation of the Blind, NFB, or the ACB. So hitting on a ton of different organizations is key, but I think what really has connected here is the United States Association of Blind Athletes. That's been a big connection, along with Who You Know in Columbus. And that's really where those connections have been made currently.
Now, I know you said that a lot of the times, especially with the younger group, when they're playing sports, they're through the school that's there in Columbus. Now for your program specifically, like, do you have different age groups, or is it just this one specific age group you're catering to right now?
So right now I have an adult team, but I am working towards having a youth team as well. So I do an after school program at the School for the Blind. Noah has also helped out with that. And we've coached all of the students at the School for the Blind and are working on doing different age groups to hopefully get a team there. But I also am looking at trying to do a youth team as well, depending on the interest for some of the other students who are in intermittent school systems in the surrounding counties.
That's awesome. Now, can I ask kind of like what a practice is like? Like, yeah, I guess it'd still be a practice. What a general practice would be like for you guys?
Noah and John, you can take that one.
I'll
Yeah,
start.
so
Yeah, go ahead. No,
go ahead, John.
All right, thank you.
You sure? Okay, well,
Yeah.
Katie usually gets us to order and gets us all going by having us do some warm-ups like butt kicks, high knees, karaoke, open the gate, close to the gate. And usually that's punctuated by, Noah, you're doing that wrong. You need to try again, because I just can't seem to get the gate opening and closing down right. But then we do some jogging, and then we do various drills. We usually start out with dribbling before, like right after warm-ups, and in between like our first organized drill, we kind of just dribble around a little bit just to get that, because that's like the foundation of soccer, obviously. So to get the ball under our feet, so to speak, a little bit, it's a good way to start warming up. And John, okay, I'll hand it off to you.
Okay, yeah, we also the drills kind of they go from dribbling to passing and then shooting. The shooting has basically all three involved. You're dribbling, you're passing, and you're shooting in one drill. And then there's also where there's kind of like a defense drills happen. And then normally that takes about about 45 minutes to do all that. And then if the practice is 2 hours, typically, we get about another half of the time is or more is done with a scrimmage. Sometimes that's flipped depending on the size of the group and who's progressing right, or it might be an hour and 15 minutes of drills, and then shorter, 45 minutes to a half hour of scrimmage. So it's a five, it's 5 sides. So most of the time we have one goalie, and we kind of like have an offense and defense, and then we switch from offense to defense, kind of like a half-court basketball game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember playing when I'm at practice for basketball. Favorite part of practice is when we got to do scrimmaging at the end. So what are your guys' favorite part of practices?
Noah?
Good question. I like most of practice. I'd say the warm-ups are necessary, but other than that, I would say pretty much most practice is interesting enough to me. I suppose but like John was saying, like the different drills we do are kind of dependent on who's there, what we're working on. But ultimately, anything that improves my skills or our skills collectively in passing, shooting, and dribbling, communicating, defense, all of that are fine with me. I generally like it when we have a bit more people there. It gives us more freedom as to what we can do as far as our drills go. So, you know, when you have 2 or 3 people per side in a given drill, you can really practice those different skills like dribbling, passing, shooting, communication, defense, all in one thing, as opposed to like having to, you know, splice and dice it over 3 different drills when you only have like maybe 2 or 3 people there total, you know? So that's what I would say is my favorite drill. What do you think, John?
You know, so I feel like my weakest drill, I can probably talk to that one. It's being you know, the one that I concentrate the most on is actually shooting, because when I, you know, with the blind being, you know, the blindfold on and everything's dark, and then I start hearing you know, the voice of a defender coming towards me, kind of it works on my anxiety. So
You hear the footsteps.
Yeah, I hear the footsteps, and so it's like, oh, you know, I make a wrong move or many times. So I think that's like the one that I focus on the most. So you know, as far as like just having fun and kicking the ball around, the scrimmages are the most fun.
Okay.
Yeah, shooting is difficult. I will agree with that, because the ball is sometimes I should say sometimes I hit it right where I'm supposed to be, but there are a couple times where it's not quite where you think it is, and it goes way off. You know what I'm talking about, right, John?
Yeah. Well, yeah. You
Yeah.
know, one of the things that I you know, I kind of like about, you know, this is that it helps with my spatial awareness. So and almost like it's almost like an echolocation, because it's like, am I hearing the ball on somebody else's foot, or am I hearing it, you know, am I hearing sound come off the wall?
Right.
You know, so it's great. It's a lot of fun.
Well, awesome. And I also have, are we okay to move to the next topic, or do y'all have any more inputs on that one?
Go ahead.
Okay, this one goes to everyone, but so obviously we're still in our youthful stages as well. So what kind of advice could you give from like just starting the team from the ground up, like from the coaching perspective and from the player perspective?
Yeah, I can go for it. So from a coaching perspective, a few things. So currently we are building a sport. So I would, like you said, connect to all of the different programs in your surrounding area, whether it's large organizations, teachers of the visually impaired, you know, orientation mobility specialists that you know. Try to reach out to any of those organizations that you'll Google and you'll say, oh, there's the ACB, there's the NFB, oh, there's a support group through here, X, Y, and Z. You're able to find that. Reach out and let them know what you're trying to do. I know there's also top soccer programs within areas as well. See if they happen to have a blind athlete. And that's another way to gather participants. But I definitely know our success has been from that startup. You'll promote one weekend event or day event and say, hey, this is our blind soccer startup event. Come out if you're interested. And that's how you promote it to get more people interested. See if they like it. If they don't, and then go from there with having a team. Obviously, finding a field is so difficult, right? It's not your typical with 7-a-side, you can go out on any other soccer field and go for it. But it needs to be quiet. There needs to be, you need to have the balls with bells in them. So finding a space that you can kind of makeshift your own. We start at the School for the Blind in a gymnasium where we put tables as sideboards. We use soccer organizations where they have futsal fields. It's just expensive to participate there and play there. And luckily right now we're playing at the Columbus Crew has created mini pitches through the city. And we are using some of their new mini pitches that were created for the city too, that happen to be enclosed for our field court. It's a court, but our field right now, which is actually regulation, at least surface currently. And then the other thing I would just say is like, once you start, there are videos now on YouTube through the United States Association of Blind Athletes these athletes who you're talking to right in front of you helped create. And they're all startup videos on blind soccer and what drills you need to start with and how to learn the skills and communicate with these athletes. And then just networking too with other coaches in the surrounding areas and saying, hey, what do I do? So that's
So
how I would.
Kate, I also just thought of another one that I think would be very beneficial just to hear. But as far as the psychological side of it, have you noticed meeting too often being too taxing, or what works best for the players as far as scheduling? Is it one time every 2 weeks, one time a month? How often?
For having practices or
Any type of like engagement. So whether if it's Zoom meetings, phone calls, practices, camps.
okay, so like maybe visual fatigue a little bit. Is that what we're kind of talking about?
Or just any type of fatigue, because I know personally if I train 6 days in a row, I'm going to be fatigued. But if I limit that to 3 or 4, have off days with some gym sessions, that helps me mentally, even visually. Sometimes I get fatigued.
Yeah, so I would say if you look at the research, actually individuals with visual impairments do get tired more quickly. It is known because they're using other senses and their brain power to really work on that physical activity. That is known, but these athletes also have played multiple sports. So if we do take multiple breaks, the water breaks throughout practice, it's probably like 1 or 2. But they are so focused and dedicated. I think at least they've gotten used to that timing. And like if we have 2 hours, we take maybe 1 or 2 breaks. If we do an hour, we probably take 1 break. It's just dependent on obviously physical fitness, right? Physical fitness is key. How fit everybody is. Noah. And then also
okay. She's laughing because I got my treadmill last year in late fourth quarter of 2020, and before then there were a couple practices where she called me out for breathing too hard. That's what this is about. I'll just go ahead and call myself out right here. But I will say it has improved since then. I'm happy to say. But go ahead, Katie.
No, I was just going to say, other than physical fitness, yeah, I'm definitely cognizant, and you can tell the pace of the game slows down, or you can just tell their skills are starting to lessen a little bit. So I know when to take breaks. And most of the athletes are very good about saying, hey, I need a break. We're tired at this point in time. What do you all say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree. It's one of the, I guess it's one of those things where it's like a 2-hour practice is a good, a good amount of time. I think that you schedule them about twice a month, and then I try to get in 3 workouts at the gym a week, and just keep doing like little drills and stuff every now and then with the soccer ball throughout the weeks that I'm not there. But it's
like dribbling around your house and stuff like that.
Yeah,
you ever do that, John?
Yeah, just kind of slow, you know what I mean? So I'm not like, but as long as I can get the feel of the ball on my foot still, it's the most important thing.
So as an athlete,
Yeah.
is there any advice for other athletes about getting involved with this sport? Like, what advice do you have for them? Whether it's like they're already involved and just continuing their career, or, finding a program and getting involved, period.
So I've talked to a few people up here in Cleveland, to trying to like talk to them about coming down to Columbus with me, to practices. And because I figured if I could get a couple more people, then I could get down to more practices. And so in that conversation, I tell them that, like it's not, it's about being like willing to try something new, and having just that, I guess the phrase is an open mind of, how the sport actually goes, because it's not like your traditional, uh, full soccer game. The speed of the game, in some senses, is just different, and you don't have as much. You definitely don't have as much space. So there's a high probability that you run into somebody, not necessarily like a bump. It's
Yeah.
so
Oh no, it's a full contact sport.
Yeah.
Anyone who's played it knows.
Yeah. So getting kind of like getting it's almost like introducing it to the right person, somebody who likes soccer and who's willing to try, who's willing to try this as a way of maintaining their activity. And really, like, it betters their life overall, in the long run, with balance and spatial awareness and all that stuff. So I kind of try to sell them in that way. I haven't gotten any takers, though. Not yet.
Yeah. Plus, it's just a heck of a lot of fun, right, John?
Yeah, absolutely. I love coming.
Yeah.
I love coming.
Yeah. So I've had similar lack of success when trying. I don't know what the code, what the snake charm or words I need to be saying over here to get people to come out. I try, in addition to everything John has highlighted, I try to, with specific people with their specific body type, try to highlight where I think they might add the most value to the team. I'm like, you're a big burly dude. You can get in there and really just wreak some havoc on some folks. You know what I mean? Or if it's a skinnier dude, I'm like, you can just, just flow through people like water, and, I try to do whatever I can to, try to highlight where they could most benefit, where I think they could most benefit the team. But like John said, it's definitely a different blind sport than all the other ones, pretty much. That when we talk about blind sports where you actually have to put on a blindfold, where this is a lot more active. You are going out there and actually colliding and making contact with the other folks on your opponent. Whereas in goalball and beat ball, you don't really interact on a physical level with the other team. So maybe that drives some of the hesitancy there. I don't know. Maybe like John and I have both shared, we played soccer when our vision was a little bit better. So there might be. Plus, I've just never been afraid to take a hit or give a hit. So I don't know, but I think that might help too. I don't know, short of like dragging someone there and saying like, okay, you will learn this. Let's see how it goes. I just think like you can talk about it till you're blue in the face, but there might just be some hesitancy there, and where you almost have to like just get out and see it.
Yeah. Well, if you guys have anything else to add, we would love to hear it. But otherwise, we are so glad and thankful that you guys took the time tonight to come on and just share your individual stories, your program stories, and just some advice with all of us and anybody else that's going to be able to see this.
Yeah, absolutely. May I ask you guys, what is your goal here? Are you trying to create a blind soccer team specifically, or what's the scope of what you're trying to create here, whether it be the sport or the disability you're trying to serve?
Right. Okay, so we're part of the Clemson Paralympic soccer program, which has several different components to it. We have a residential training program, which is what Tim is a part of, as well as everything else about Clemson Paralympic soccer. But our residential training program is where we bring in athletes, collegiate athletes that play either 7-a-side, and we're going to hopefully bring in more 5-a-side individuals to come and just train with other athletes, and just be able to train with us and train with other athletes and stuff like that. So our goal kind of with this was to it's kind of just to get to know specifically you guys more, and hopefully help you guys bring in more players, but also kind of just to introduce the sport out more, and to let people know that we do know about the sport, and we would like to talk to them as well as you guys possibly talking to them. So we kind of just wanted to get the word out there more, honestly.
Great.
Awesome. Sounds like same goals we have.
Yes. Absolutely. And it kind of just goes along with the rest of our program, because we also do veterans soccer camps where we teach 5-a-side soccer as well as 7-a-side soccer. So
we will be running Noah this summer.
Mhm.
So we will be one of the
What's
people.
that, Katie?
We'll be doing one of those camps this summer. I just haven't told you all yet.
Great.
A soccer camp for veterans?
Yes.
Oh,
So
sweet.
we are partnering with Katie and you guys this summer to put on one of our camps. So that, which is very exciting. But yeah, so that's kind of our goals and what we wanted. So this kind of was just more of an introduction. Hopefully that'll help you guys get more recruits for the camp, as well as for your program, and vice versa as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's exciting.